Hi everyone and welcome to the Tea Party by Aura. We're talking all things events here, from the tiniest details of your very big day. We're here to spill the tea on all of the inside information. Expect the series to be sort of a checklist. So how do you go from proposals to weddings to actually wedding disasters? We're covering all of it, including finance. For the first episode of this podcast, we have someone who's very near and dear to me, who understands aesthetics at a completely different level, has had a dreamy proposal, and whose wedding has been my Pinterest mood board, my very close friend, Ruhi.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here and congratulations on Aura. I think it's a fabulous, fantastic thing to finally have here.
The inception of Aura came for us where we thought, you know, there is this need to have almost like a best friend who will plan your entire thing. And for us, it was largely just the both of us handling it, or like you handling your event and handling mine. And the first thing you think of when you think any event is, where are we going to host it? Where is the venue? So now the venue itself is a one-stop solution with all of the required partners to complete your checklist. That just solves everybody's issue,
it's
you know.
So much like stress-free, hassle-free, and like with so many options right now, the more options you have, the more stressed out you are. Like you have to go to 10 different locations and then 10 different decor people, and then like everything goes on and on. So I like the whole everything clubbed into one. It makes it so much easier.
And I think for us, when we thought about this business and we thought about how we can, you know, really help the people who are planning this, because it is a full-time job. Wedding planning is a full-time job. Let it be our job. Let us plan your wedding for you. Let us plan your events for you. Be stress-free. Just come enjoy the emotion of it, because it is a very emotional thing. You know, when you celebrate milestones, it is very big, and you want trusted people doing it. So we've done all of that background work for our clients, so they can just come on board and tell us their requirements and let us deal with it. So that's where it comes from. And I think with this podcast, I'm hoping to also help everybody who knows nothing about event planning, or people who know event planning, just have that expert advice from people who've done it, people who've experienced it, industry leaders who can actually come in and tell you what exactly you need. Because some people have a skewed amount of, you know, skewed budgetary requirement. They'll be like, 2 lakhs, I'll get this. No, you have to give a reality of how you can plan your entire event, even from so much as to how you can budget your wedding, because it is, you know, one of the bigger things in life that we spend. And it has to be, we don't want to exploit anybody. We want you to have fun and get your money's worth.
The cherry on top with like Aura being like the location as well. The
lake, it's very,
the glass house and everything is so beautiful about it. So I feel like you want to conduct anything from like I think a wedding, engagement, a shower, like anything, it's so sorted and it's so beautiful.
Right, I think the space lends itself as well, and I'm not going to, you know, entice you any further. I would encourage all of our listeners, viewers, looking at us.
Come check it out.
Come check it out, you know. And we have a fun adventure resort also, so you will not be bored. Ruhi, can you just like quickly tell us about yourself, and then we'll dive into like the tinier things, because the way that I know you, you're like this master planner of all events. Like all of the events that I've seen you host have been very meticulously and very beautifully planned, but that's just one lens of who Ruhi is. So if you could just like tell us about the audience.
Sweet. Okay, so basically I'm from Bangalore, living here. I studied here, working here. I started off basically interning in one of the magazines in Bombay, GQ, and then I came back. I started something of my own. There was an unfortunate series of COVID that kind of drowned it out. And but I think something good also came out of it, because towards the end of it I got like engaged, and that's when I took like a while to just do my wedding, and like I wanted it to be super to me and myself. So I wanted to be very involved in it, and I decided to, you know, take it up as like my own project and do it. And it's been 2 years and here we are.
I know, here we are. But in terms of the proposal, right, I want to dive a little bit into it, because when we were younger, we didn't see proposals happening. It was just like, they're getting married, or like we've dated long enough and I think we're going to take the next step. But only in the recent 5 or 6 years is when I've really seen these elaborate proposals, people actually getting down on one knee, or the girls also like asking their partners to marry them, for example. So in terms of proposals, where do you think this came up, or like what is your take on what proposals are today?
Okay, so I think regarding proposals, it's still something you could see back in movies, like they dated it back then, and you know, you could build up slow, but it's not like it was super romantic where like it was always a happy ending. There was some train running scenes.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on there. But I think slowly it started building up to this concept of the guy going down on his knees. And I think with social media and stuff coming so much in power, you see and you save and you want something like that, and it keeps going on and on like that.
Yeah. Do you think it's like a one-upping situation? Like, oh, she had this kind of proposal, so I should also?
I feel like a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And apart from that also, I feel like there's always just like, okay, this person's done something like this. I want mine to be also really different or really unique. Or everyone has their own ideas, and definitely I feel like there is also one whole angle of oh my god, this one had it like this, I need it to be way better and way more elaborate and things like that. I think there is to it.
So Manmat did like a fantastic job.
Oh my god.
I want to say, should we credit him? Should we credit you? Tell me more about the proposal.
I
like, tell everyone.
It's all him for sure. I mean, if he was like, which he's going to be listening and watching, he's going to be really shy about this because he's so close as a person. But so we've been together for I think 10 years now.
Yeah.
And with him, I think when we built our relationship, I used to be somebody who used to have these kind of like expectations, like, oh yeah, like I want things to be so elaborate, or like I want our anniversary to be this way, I want this to this be very like Bollywood oriented.
I mean,
yeah,
it's like preaching to the choir. I get it.
And then like I think with him it's like he's totally opposite of that, of who he was.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is that he slowly enabled himself to build it and understand that, okay, if she likes this kind of things, then I think I should push myself to do like it's and bits of that.
Yeah.
So throughout our relationship we did have those episodes, but when it came to the proposal, I don't think I was really like, oh my god, he's going to propose.
Right.
Because we came to a point where we were like, okay, we spoke to our families, and he had spoken to mine, I think, and we were just like, okay, we're going to do a roka, and we're going to. It just felt like a smooth transition because there was COVID.
Right.
There was so much going on, so not that I expected any of it.
Right.
And it was just like a very chill, like, and I was happy. I made my peace with it. So I was like, it's fine. I'm just ready to get to the wedding part
at this time. Yeah.
Jump into it.
Yeah.
Then he planned this trip, which we went to Maldives. And it's really funny because I think it must have been really stressful for him because he proposed to me. We went for 4 days, and he proposed to 5 days, and he proposed to me on the 3rd day. So I don't even know how someone could take the
I would have like word vomit immediately, like I have something.
Stress and anxiety, and he played it also really like cool, like, and I was just like, I don't know how did you even pull this off? And I think the only 2 people who knew were my best friend Utishta.
Yeah.
And I think like my mom and dad and his mom and dad, like, and his like family and her. The few things that I loved about the proposal was he oriented it very pretty much about like sunsets.
Okay.
Because that's one thing we really loved on vacations. Like,
is that like a you thing? Like
need to see like sunsets, and we have
very
like a
romantic
rating. Yeah, it's like we have a rating of all the best sunsets.
Oh wow.
And like we see which tops which one up.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, let's do sunsets, and then this was the 3rd day, and he picked this point, and he's like, apparently it's really good. And Sanya was like, yeah, I'll meet you guys there. We'll plan all this, and we were heading there, and it ended up happening. He proposed to me.
Oh, it was
really nice. I love the fact that he didn't like have somebody take it or film it, or like, you know, like,
it was very intimate.
He himself, like, he was just like, oh, let's sit here, I'll take like a time lapse of it and stuff.
Very smart.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that because it looks so pretty. And he put the time lapse up, he went there and he proposed in his like you know, like, I was just stunned because
Do you remember anything?
No.
Like, was it like a blank thing?
Now that I still think about it, I think it's blank because I really can't like register what happened after that. Like, and he was just like, say something. And I'm like, okay, yes. I was still like really
Yeah.
taken back, and I think the whole night to the next 2 days, it was still like I've not registered it. So
Yeah,
I
it's like
think
very unreal.
it was unreal. Like I think when it comes to any like big core surprise memory moments in my life, I think that's one thing which still like takes the
Cake. Yeah.
cake. Yeah. Even the fact that he kept it very chill, there was no like photographer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even our photos and everything were all like self timer.
Oh,
and
cute. Like very
everything.
organic, very raw.
Yeah, like we
Yeah.
enjoyed the moment, and then we're like, oh yeah, let's like capture the moment and like have this like something we have forever. And we're
Right.
like, yeah, we should.
Yeah.
So there was a video and then the photos. But a lot of people do prefer having like proper.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, would you like it to be like professionally captured if you had the choice, or are you okay with it being a very like raw, intimate, just the two of us moment, no other cameras around? I just want it to be you and I.
Okay, now that I
Yeah.
think about it, I really love the moment we had.
Okay, okay.
But I feel like nowadays when I see like on social media, like there are people who have these like professional photographers and all.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think I still wouldn't opt for it.
Got it.
Because I feel like then the really like intimate part of it kind of maybe like dissolves. Unless you're doing like the full-fledged, you know, like with your families or
Right.
like, you know, against like something like an Eiffel Tower set. Like there's this one which I've
Right.
seen on like
Okay.
a really full-fledged one on Eiffel Tower, and
Yeah.
the really big Bollywoody ones.
Yeah.
But I still would keep it like really like
Low-key.
intimate and low
Nice.
key. Maybe
Like
that's just
savor
my
that.
preference.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
What do you feel?
I'm the same way too. Like I got proposed on a basketball court, so it's very us. Well, like I didn't tell anybody this. This was like my little secret that I kept to myself, that I always wanted to be proposed to, like during a nonchalant game, because basketball is something that I love and it's something that Siddharth and I bonded over because we both play. And I didn't tell him this, but he knew. And he also proposed like 4 days before our actual engagement that the families had planned, like our Roka version of our Roka, where a formal engagement was planned. So it's not like I was going to say no. So he had that safety.
Wow,
You know? Yeah, it's just like
Great.
it's not going to be a will you marry
not
me. It's
gonna,
like a
like,
you
say
will
no.
marry me
Yeah.
at this point. But more so,
Love it.
the moment was very special because we wanted to play basketball, and it was. Yeah, like, you know, like you had a couple of friends involved. It actually took a village to plan a proposal for us, you know, because in terms of I'm very all over the place, so nobody really knows like what my schedule looks like.
Yeah.
So he tried to get me to go play basketball, and he had aligned one of my friends from Dublin, Shivani, to call me and say, there's an emergency, I really need you. So he could get me out of the court and then actually set up for the proposal, like bring the ring out and like keep it in a safe space that I wouldn't
Oh my God.
see it.
You had to do it mid-game.
Like mid-game, he had to like cue these people, and there was another person, like one of his best friends were there, where he got two of his friends on top of a tower, like not tower, but like the building, the A block.
This is a lot of
It was a
effort.
production.
Wow.
That's why I was like, so how did you like your
Wow,
So they were
this
taking
is-
photos from like a zoomed lens, and it's all blurry.
Huh.
None of the photos are usable. The pictures are like trees in them.
It's still like.
But it was
oh
a
my
very,
God,
yeah, it
that
was a
sounds
very sweet moment.
incredible.
It was very sweet. I was also in my basketball gear. So it's not like I can use this creatively on social media, but it was still, again, I still prefer that over maybe a
Something
staged
you still
one.
like dreamt of, like.
Yeah, it was still, had I worn better gear, sure. I was in shorts and like a baggy t-shirt. I was in a pretty dress looking at a sunset, but
That's fine.
I think the emotion at the end of the day, like,
The emotion,
yeah,
that's
is what matters. The
most.
intent, and I also like was fully glazed over. I was so overcome with emotion. So girls, like, please know that I think, or men, if you're getting proposed to, or whoever is proposing to your partner, just know that they will blank out
Yeah.
and not remember the beautiful words that you've rehearsed for 8 hours.
So it's fine if you keep it simple, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so nice.
It was very sweet.
I
It
think
was very sweet.
I'm listening to the proposal story for the first time.
I'm glad you hear it like on this
I
platform.
love
though.
it.
But yeah, so it was very that. And then so we incorporated that into like all of our sort of wedding and everything. But with the rings,
Yeah, the pictures
right?
are fabulous, like of the
Okay,
basketball.
Same
Yeah.
with yours. I could go on. But the ring in itself, right? How does one go about choosing it? Did you have a mood board? Do you recommend, like, did you share it with Manmat? Or how did you go about like asking for your dream ring, or did you just trust in your partner that they know you enough?
No, I mean, like, being a girl, I've always had like my own Pinteresty board of like everything, right?
Yeah.
So I think with the ring also I did.
Okay.
And I remember in like randomly once in a while I was like, oh my god, look at this ring, like
Ooh.
it's so nice,
Hint,
like,
hint.
check it out,
Yeah.
hints and stuff like that. But no, but that's also funny because my taste kept changing.
Okay.
I think he kept that in mind.
Okay.
But it kind of dates back also to the whole thing of like, oh, you know, I love Harry Winston as a design.
Right.
Like, I know the brand is exuberantly like priced,
Priced,
and stuff,
yeah.
but like I do love the concept of like minimal rings,
Right.
with like whatever that little like edge or the detail and stuff like that. And I used to tell him about it in Singapore because I even like I studied marketing, fashion marketing. So I did a whole project and stuff on it. So I was always like giving him these like
Little pointers.
and I used to tell him like, oh, there's this or that, and he used to be like, okay. And then towards like COVID again, once or twice when like there were these engagements happening or these proposals happening, and I used to be like, oh my god, look at the ring, and the ring looks so good.
Right.
But other than that, I wasn't very specific about my ring.
Okay. Okay.
And that's the other thing I love the more than the proposal. I love the fact that he designed the ring.
Oh.
Yeah, he himself designed the ring. He did it with somebody he trusted, and he was just like, I want to get into the details of it. And I remember his parents also telling me like, we've not seen him like so into something and
so
like get into
sweet.
it, and really planning and figuring it out and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, that makes it even more special.
Right. Yeah.
Because when I remember him putting it in, like when he was asking and it was like this, and I was just like, what is going on? Like it's again still a very blanking moment. Like you said, like everything just goes blank.
Yeah.
So I think with the ring, it depends. A lot of people are specific on what they like and what goes well on them and things like that. And I sometimes like I think like if I would want to like, you know, pass this on because it's so special.
Right.
Yeah, then you do want to like think maybe like if you have like kids someday and they want to like, you know,
use it as an heirloom thing. Would you be mad if he gave you like an heirloom piece that like was in his family from generations and it wasn't designed specifically keeping your taste in mind, but it was more like sentimental that this was my nani's or this was in my family for a very long time and I want you to have it?
No,
how would
I
you
love
feel
that,
with
the heirloom pieces? I would be like open to that as well. Like they're cute.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I'm very confused and conflicted. I love heirloom pieces, but it's just that maybe with my family and his family also, like none of them focus much on the rings.
Okay.
So I've never been like, oh, like you have to pass the ring on and like those kind of things. But I have seen people who do that, and it's so beautiful. Like,
it is, yeah.
You're passing on like a sentiment and an emotion, and like that whole aspect also of it is so beautiful. So when we speak about it, and you know, he said like, and I tell him how much I love the ring, and then he says, you know, we can pass this or start this as a
your tradition,
and we can like you pass the ring on.
That'd be beautiful.
That'd be beautiful, but I don't know if I want to do
it. You want to part with your ring or no? Make Manmat upgrade it and then.
Yeah, then
maybe.
No.
I think definitely I believe in like full clarity. So I've just had like this whole mood board and I said, here it is. If you're picking, you must pick from one of these. But that's just me. The way that Siddharth did it also was he consulted with his girlfriends, and they like, and to ask them, see, this is going to sound very obnoxious, but I have 2 rings and this is very obnoxious.
I love
but
it.
It's a little stacked.
It's a little
stacked. But one was for sentimental like proposal, and one was we both went and designed our rings together. And we had a little moment there with the jeweler. But with the proposal in itself, he's just like, I want to give her something that is sentimental and that she may necessarily not know that she likes. So it wasn't on my mood board, but when he, you know, put it on, it was very sweet, it was very sentimental. I was just like, I will marry you with paper rings, like, you know, at the end of the day. But with the advice to the girls is I would say just be as clear as possible, because then they are able to do with that information what they will. Build from it or say, okay, she's got this, but what if, you know, I know her enough and I might, because at the end of the day, I think the emotion and the sentiment of it rules
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
But what would you sort of?
Definitely the same thing. I just feel like the basics, like, okay, for example, like if you like rings that are like, I like you like platinum, you like diamonds,
Yeah,
you don't like
it's also-
gold, you don't like rose
yeah.
gold, or you want to
The
incorporate
metal
those.
is very
Yeah,
important
the
to know.
metal is important.
Because if your
Whether
girlfriend's
you
wearing all gold and you give her one silver little,
yeah,
that's
and then
going to,
it's confusing. So
yeah.
definitely I feel like girls should have their mood board, and you know, it's better to be clear and clarity than to like later regret it and have something that, you know, you're very
Yeah.
like
Okay
iffy about.
yeah.
So definitely do a mood board, definitely have a collection of it. And for guys, I feel like it's something like, okay, don't just go in for something you see right away.
Yeah.
Connect a story, see where you build.
Yeah.
Definitely ask the girlfriends if they're really close and they know that, you know, they in capture the girl's essence really well. If your bestie knows to do that,
knows,
like,
yeah.
you should. Even
Yeah.
like, I think even consulting the mom is really sweet.
That is true.
I feel, like sometimes guys hesitate on that like fact.
Yeah.
But I think you like in having the mother also in is
Involved,
like very sweet
It
and
is.
nice. I think Mama didn't really specifically do that because my mom is so close to me. She comes and tells me everything.
So she's gonna like just tell you it's
so at
happening.
least
Be
with the
ready.
ring, yeah, like I think he kept it very to himself. But
Nice.
I think that's sweet. You should involve the mother if you can involve the parents or like any relative, like, you know, just like
Yeah.
somebody you know who's so close to.
Right.
And yeah, get inputs, and but at the end of the day, do like what your gut tells you. Like,
Right.
if this is the story connected to this and I want to build it in this,
Yeah.
there's, like you said, like
Yeah.
sentiments always.
Yeah, I think the intention and the sentiment behind it overpowers any sort of material ring, but it helps to know, and it helps to reach out and speak to the girl or the partner's family, friends. So yeah, talk to everybody, but not to the girl or the partner you're proposing to.
Keep it low key.
Low key, very. So I mean, it's obviously not just the girl or one of the partners who's, I know, because I know women who also want to propose to their boyfriends or their partners. You picked out Manmat's ring as well as I did with Siddharth. So, but what was that thought process? Because now roles are reversed.
Yeah.
I mean, do even people look at the guy's ring and be like, oh, you're engaged? Or is it more like, girl, show me yours?
No,
kind
I
of a
think
thing?
more it's like, I think for a guy it's like, oh yeah, I have to wear it and like, I don't get hit on kind of a vibe more than anything.
Take it, please leave me.
Yeah, like leave me alone, ladies. Like that's the only reason I wanted to give Manmat a ring.
Same.
Yeah, because I think when we decided with my family, oh, what do we give him? Everyone's generally like, yeah, we give him a watch. Like that's sweet. Like he can pass it on to his kids, and like it's just the same thing with every family, right?
Yeah.
So we settled on that, but I was still like, no, I'd still like the world to know that he's married. And I asked him, would you wear jewelry?
Right.
And he's somebody who's like very relaxed. He's just like, no, it's fine if I'm okay. Like I'm okay with the watch or this. And I'm like, no, I would like to. Like I did kind of put in a like, no, I would want you to also have a ring. It marks something beautiful.
Yeah, it is significant.
Yeah, so he was like, okay, fine. And then he is a bit picky, so he was like, okay, so what are you going to do?
Like,
what is
are the
it going to be?
materials?
I don't want a diamond, like that's like a given. I can't do diamonds and stuff. So I was like, okay, you won't get, like it'll be like a little sweet band and stuff. And then he's like, I don't want to do silvers. I don't want. Okay, I was like making a list and note of all of them, and then I was searching up, and I was like, okay, maybe I want to do like a designer. Like kind of a vibe, because I think I've been checking out the Cartier for like the
love bands
for a while, and I like the whole like love band story.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, the nut and bolt thing
that only your partner can essentially.
like I love the whole Cartier love band vibes, and I suggested that to him, and the minute I did, he was just like, yeah, I think this is something sweet and I would go for it.
Nice.
And that's it. It was really simple. Like I just then contacted them and then got it down. It was just very neat and like
nice.
But it is something he actually wears and he enjoys wearing. I see it. Like I don't have to be like, oh, are you wearing your ring? You don't wear your ring. He just wears it and he pretty much enjoys it.
So I think like now with guys also wearing jewelry more, and it's an opportunity for women also to be that much thoughtful, and it's sort of, if you are the one that got proposed to, or if you want to propose, it's a nice sentiment to be like, I want to do this for this person. I think
But I think it's a whole different ball game with arranged marriages.
That is true. Like, how do you know what they like?
Yeah.
And the families are deciding.
Yeah, I've seen like
But-
cases and friends where, you know, you don't know what you're getting and
Right.
you don't know what to give, and then it's so much like stress and confusion also, because you don't know if they like it or what they're going to
Right.
think about
So
it.
how would you navigate such a situation?
When it comes to arranged marriage?
Yeah, like if you were in that situation of an arranged marriage and you didn't know, would you go and talk to your partner, say, hey, I actually have these preferences, or what are your general tastes like, or have a conversation, or just be like, no, I'm trusting my family to do what they do and give them what they give them?
I think if that was the scenario, I'd still want some sort of hold on it, where like I
Okay.
think there should be like again a best friend or a sister or a
Right.
cousin that like is
Knows.
like, yeah, you know what, she likes something like this, maybe you can talk to your family about it. Like there's always better, even in arranged marriages, to like involve somebody
Nice.
in
Yeah.
the, like to mediate in the middle,
Correct. Yeah.
so just feelings don't turn sour, like
Fair enough. Because then those things also last.
yeah,
Yeah.
like because then you'll end up giving like a solitaire to the boy, and then what if he didn't want it, then it's like something wasteful also. Like he's not going to wear it, he
Exactly.
can't say no because the elders have given
Exactly.
it and the family's given it, and you can't be disrespectful, but you're also then keeping something like, you know, without any like happiness.
Yeah.
You
And you're
just-
starting a relationship often. Shouldn't
yeah,
be
it should
on
be
a-
more like cool and comfortable, like.
Yeah. You know, speaking of, say, women designing for men or asking, through my research, and by that I mean scrolling on Instagram, I've come across the Scottish or an Irish tradition that women are encouraged to sort of break the bonds of, you know, convention and propose to their partners every leap year. And I think they are supposed to say yes, but it's more to do with, you know, girl, don't wait for him. If he's past the 4th year mark, go ahead and
Go for
propose.
it?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Do you
I
think?
love that.
Yeah, I
That's
actually
kind
think
of
so.
cool.
It is very cool, not to be like, you know what, I'm gonna ask.
I would do it. What would you like propose if you had the chance?
If I waited long enough and I've given you enough hints,
Yeah.
I think I'm just like, yeah, I might as well. I like it, so I'm gonna put a ring on it. So
I like that, and it's like this powerful, like kind of like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's the same thing, very
it
cool in
is.
partners and stuff.
exactly, and that whole like partnership vibe, you're starting it off from there, I think. But with the rise of obviously the different type of rings, and you're consumed with so much media because you don't know what to pick. The designers are options, your actual jewelers are options. Now lab grown diamonds are also a thing, because I think a couple of years ago people would have frowned on, those are not real diamonds, so I don't want them. But there's a large acceptance rate for lab grown or, you know, artificial. I don't want to say artificial because it is chemically still the same.
It's still chemical.
So like,
But
what is
apparently
your,
you can't even see the difference. Like I
Yeah?
have seen lab grown diamonds, and my mind's been kind of blown.
so you would like, would you be okay with having a larger lab grown diamond versus like a small?
Versus-
Yeah, because the price difference is like I think a quarter of
Yeah.
what an actual diamond costs. So lab grown diamond costs a quarter of it.
I mean, I
So-
really wouldn't mind, because I think with the whole, that's the thing, right? Like with lab grown, so many people are like iffy about it, but I still feel like I don't see the reason why not, because it's like with the environment, it's like so much
Yes.
more sustainable.
Yep.
The whole blood diamond thing, you don't know where your diamond comes from, you don't know how it's like thing, but
If
I
it's
mean,
ethically sourced or not.
yeah, like there's so much, like even if people tell you it's ethical, it's probably not. Like
you never know.
there's a lot going on, and then it's just that if you, and the value of diamonds also, like
Yeah.
they say that's not the same, it doesn't match up or something
Exactly,
like
like it
that, right?
depreciates, yeah.
So if you do have the chance, like if now is the time that I was getting proposed to and there was a lab grown diamond, like honestly I don't see why not. I would be like
Yeah.
completely fine. It again doesn't hold the fact that like the value of it is like
Exactly.
high or low. It's about how much you like it and how it was designed, and like it looks beautiful at the end
Yeah.
of the day. Like I said, like if you put, even when I've seen it and I wanted to check it out, and I was like put 2 diamonds, like
Yeah.
that I couldn't tell the difference.
I think it's on the scale of measurement, I forget the name of it, but lab grown are 9.5 was the diamonds at 10. Or very chemically, they're almost identical.
3 identical.
So you can't,
Same
they shine, yeah.
cut, clarity and all, like
Right.
unless like it's the really humongous
gigantic
Neeta Ambani diamonds that you're wearing and walking around.
Those were, whew,
Yeah, unless it's like that, I think it's pretty much, you know,
it works, right?
it works. Why not?
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Interesting. In terms of just the planning of it as well, like, you know, so we're an events venue, we do planning all the time, but both of us have not had planned proposals. I mean, the guy's done all of it.
The guys,
But also now, you know, like some of the publications that are coming around are saying proposal planning is a full-fledged market now, and people are spending anywhere between 40,000 to like 5 lakhs to curate the perfect moment, to curate that will you marry me, wow, like that atmosphere.
Wow.
Do
5
you-
lakhs is like the price of an event.
Actual wedding
Or like a
also.
holiday or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So do you think that is necessary? Do you think that, you know, people should actually go for it? Because they're like, I am someone who either doesn't have the time, or I don't have the flair for planning or actually like putting my sentiments into action, and that's why I need a professional to help me. I would go for it then. But what is your opinion on this whole like having a planner come do
Do it.
everything, like set it up, logistics is booked, photographers are standby, they're hiding in the bushes, like the works.
I mean, it works both ways. So I've seen both the sides of it. Like you know, like our stories, and like I know a few more that have been super intimate and
Right.
nice. So there's this whole aspect of the warmth and the intimacy that comes with the whole thing, which is really nice, because again and again you go back to the memory and you connect to that like whole like fact that, you know, this person did, like, think about it.
Yeah.
Like 20 years later, you and Siddharth, like
Right.
you all are going to be in like such a different phase in your
Of
life with
course.
like kids and schooling, and there's always that one take back that, you know, you always had this like moments.
Yeah.
Because even with my parents, when I talk to my mom and I ask her like, so how was your relationship, how she
Yeah.
would give me these like small tidbits of like how it was, or how did my dad propose to her, and like that story is
Yeah.
also so clear, like how it
Right.
was like
Yeah.
done and stuff like that. So you hold on to these core memories, that's the
Right.
thing. But I also, on the other hand, think that, like, you know, there are couples where like you want to do something beautiful, you want to establish it, but like you said, like there's not enough time, or you know, you can't think creatively, or like
Yeah.
you need the help, and like probably you do. And if that's the case, then fair, you should go for it.
Yeah.
Even with arranged marriages, I see
Yeah.
like there are packages when, you know, there are these big weddings happening, you have like a pre-wedding shoot, and you have,
Yeah.
nowadays I think you even have like a proposal, like
Yeah,
plan
like a
out
whole-
and
yeah.
everything like that. So I'm like, yeah, people go in for it because they feel like it's sweet, like, you know, even though it's an arranged marriage,
Yeah, you're still like,
you're still building your story somewhere.
you have
So-
something to talk about, and you're like,
Yeah,
that, like you said, I think back in the day when you had to ask for someone's hand in marriage, you either wrote like a letter, like the family wrote a letter to the girl's family saying, we are so and so from this family, we have, you know, we would love to have your daughter's hand in marriage, or would like to come with a marriage alliance proposal. For my parents, the story that I've been told, and my dad vehemently denies it, is the fact that my mom actually had to propose to him. So she's like,
cute.
listen, if we're going to go ahead with this, it has to be serious.
Serious?
And my dad said, you know what, I'll go talk to my parents and I'll let you know. So it was a little bit of a both thing, where it was also very filmy, where my dad came home to Bangalore. They met in Hyderabad, but dad came home to Bangalore. He 3 days he didn't say anything to his sisters, and then on the last day his wallet opens and my mother's photo accidentally
Falls out?
in front of my aunt, his eldest sister, and then she
Wow.
was like, so you
Who's
want
this?
to explain why am I looking at this?
I lost
And
them.
then that's how they kind of the family started talking, and then officially the elders met and they went ahead with it. But that, like, back in the day was so much more different than what it is now. So you
cool.
think that, or when you're proposing, like planning, if it's an arranged marriage or it's an organic, you've dated for a while, you know this is where you're headed and you want to do it. What is your take on like involving the family, apart from, you know, like, would you like it if they went and said, hey, I want your daughter's hand in marriage and I'm going to do this as a thing?
Definitely,
Yeah.
like it could be other ways or whatever you
Yeah.
wanted, but my sole advice is please always ask the parents. I think
Yeah.
it's the nicest thing
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Even with Manmat, he did take permission from my dad and mom first, and things
Right.
like it really makes a difference, because when you're getting married, you're getting also a part of you where the families are like getting
Yeah.
together. It's a marriage of
Yeah.
like
Two
everything.
families, yeah,
like
yeah.
they say that, and it's
Right.
true.
Right.
And you should, when you do that, you start building connections with them
That is
also. They
true.
try to understand, like, okay, this person's willing to go the mile for my daughter or my
Right,
son,
right.
and all these like little things do
Add
add
up.
up in the bigger picture of how you bond with them or how you build your relationship with them. So it's definitely a yes, like always ask the parents or like an
Yeah.
elderly of the family.
Permission, or
Yeah,
like,
like
you know, for their hand
permissions
in
are a
marriage.
must. It's,
Yeah.
it's the sweetest thing.
Yeah. I mean, now you know, post the planning, and like we said, it's more, I think the overarching element of our conversation has been ask the people, whoever is it, ask everybody.
Take advice, do your own thing.
Yeah. Consent is sexy in terms of like both sides of the families agreeing.
Absolutely.
The girl in itself, you know, make sure she's on board, they're on board, your partner is there ready.
Yeah.
Rings, again, like ask is just like, I feel like is the thing.
Do
your
what you feel.
research.
Yeah, research.
And even with the proposal planning, if you're someone who's super busy, who hasn't, you know, been able to pull that sort of effort into planning it, get professional help. If not, if
definitely
just,
get
you know,
professional help. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I feel like if at the end of the day it helps your case or it makes the
Yeah,
person really happy,
feel
like
more special.
it's again the effort also to contact and put money in and like everything. It's the same.
Right.
Efforts.
Right,
Both are
right.
But if again I give a very honest advice, do try to keep it more personal and intimate.
Yeah.
Or hold on to like a few things which is like
just between both you.
both of you all, or
Yeah.
even if it's an arranged marriage and you guys don't have so many memories and all to build yet, it could be something of what you want to do in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it could, like, that could be your start. That
Yeah.
would be your story.
That
you know?
could be the start of your story. Yeah.
That'd be very special and very intimate, very thing. So, that being said, once you're done with the proposal, you are a few years into your marriage.
Yeah.
You know, David Beckham does something very interesting.
I know what
It's every girl's dream, apart from being with David
tracked
Beckham.
all her Pinterest wedding rings, like it's like all tracked and
Yeah,
there's
so-
like a pink diamond green and like, oh my god, no one does it like Beckham.
See, not like, no one doesn't like Beckham on and off the field apparently. So,
Unless you're like Drake who does Birkins, I don't think anything can still match up to like David Beckham's level.
yearly upgrades on
Like
like
his-
the
yeah.
engagement rings. Yeah.
Wow. Give it a hand.
Here's wishing. Or here's like PSA to all of the already engaged people.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Upgrade.
Symbolize your love some more. But that brings us to the end of our first ever podcast episode. Thank you so much for coming, Ruhi.
Thank you for having me. I've had such a blast. Yeah.
It feels like a regular conversation, like it's
Yeah.
full chai. We don't have chai, but maybe
don't
we'll
have
get it
chai
next time. And we'll spill some
It's
more
fine. I'm
tea.
so happy. This is my first podcast and
Yeah.
I pretty much enjoyed it. It's
I'm
really-
excited for everybody to sort of, you know, get on this journey with us. We're here to help. We're here to talk about everything that is there to events, and we could be your best friends. So we'll see you same time next month. So bye. That's it from the tea party.